This is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the BioInvest Israel Conference here in Haifa, Israel, 2012. I have Ofer Bokobza of Expanding Orthopedics right here. Ofer, welcome to SNNLive.
Hi, Shelley. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you. Let's get right into it.
Okay.
Tell me about Expanding Orthopedics.
Okay. Expanding Orthopedics is a private startup company located here in Israel that develops a unique spinal fusion implants that deals with the aging population, which is have certain needs of poor bone quality that currently is really something that is not treated the right way. So we developed a patented implant that is able to do a more natural fixation of the spinal column without the use of cement augmentation.
That's important.
Yep.
Now, do you have sales?
Yes, we do. We have CE mark. We started selling in June of last year, and currently we're selling in Israel, Germany, Italy, and we just started UK.
So I beg to differ with you.
Okay.
You're not a startup company.
Okay.
Usually startup companies don't have sales yet. So you're, I would say you're an expanding startup company because now you're going, across the board, you've got sales. When do you go to North America?
Okay, obviously we're expanding orthopedics, but we're working on our FDA submission. The course is a 510K, and we'll probably by the end of the year hoping to have our 510K and starting sales in the US in 2013.
I think the market is huge, but tell me how big it is.
Okay, the market for spine fusion is about $7 billion. And what we're actually trying to do is to segment the market and to capture a segment of the poor bone quality patient, which is the aging spine, which is the largest growing segment in the spine market actually overall. We're going from 11% of population of the 65 and older to 20% of population in 2050. And these patients have special needs. And this is the reason we think it's a unique opportunity, and we think that the segment that we're going to treat is about 15% of the overall market, which is, as I said, $7 billion market.
Ofer, what's your background?
I'm a mechanical engineer, graduated here in the Technion in Haifa, but majority of my life I worked in high tech, in semiconductor industry in California. So this is actually my first startup, my first medical device.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I am very impressed because we come across companies and, we hear a lot of stories, but they're not yet into the selling. So To get into the selling, you've already gotten through approval processes in several countries, correct?
True. We went through a very rigorous process because it's a unique product. So we did the CE, and obviously we have whatever qualification is needed to the countries we're selling in. The FDA will definitely be a certain milestone that we have to pass, and with the current uncertainty of the FDA, it's very difficult to know what will happen. But at the same time, we're working on alternative strategies of selling outside of Europe as well, in South America, South Africa, and so forth.
What is your opinion, and it's only an opinion, on how the reimbursement process will go?
This is actually an interesting question, and the route that we actually chose to go at the moment is to not to change the reimbursement process for our product. So for instance, in Europe, we go through the same reimbursement process, but we actually go through the special screws that are being sold in the market together with the cement combination. And this is something that more or less we're compromising on margin, but we're kind of taking away a lot of the efforts and the expenses of actually going through a new reimbursement process. In the US, because the prices are much higher, we can actually, in which we think will be very attractive, we think that if we can stay with the same reimbursement process and offer our expanding screws and standard screws exactly for the same price, this will be a huge help in terms of barrier of entry, and at the same time will give us very, very good margins.
But even if you had to lower your margins, hypothetically, your reimbursed process will still give you enough money to keep the market very strong for you.
Sure. And again, I think the advantage is that the fact that we don't need to go through, again, the reimbursement process for spine fusion is well established. We don't need to set anything new, which is, again, it's lifting a huge burden out of a small company to start in dealing with reimbursement process as well.
But as I was mentioning, the difference between the cost to the hospital, the cost of the surgery, utilizing your materials as opposed to the previous method, because I think once you introduce, you could become adopted as the better way. I think the reimbursement process could help your company tremendously expand.
Definitely. Yeah, we're continuously expanding. Yeah, expanding is a theme in this interview.
I like to play on words. What is your website, if we can expand upon that?
Yeah, it's xortho.com. xortho.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ofer Bokobza, Expanding Orthopedics. Go to the website, check it out. It's a private company. I want to thank you for coming on to SNNLive.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.